Okay, I'm going to talk about the plug, and as we talked about Friday, and just doing the top casing. So you should have your actual SolidWorks window open. So as we said before, everything starts with a sketch. So I'm going to click on the sketch menu there, go to sketch, and then I'm going to choose my plane that I actually want to draw on. So I'm going to use the top plane for this one. And there I have my UCS, and don't forget that's my 000 point. So I'm going to start with a center line, and I'm going to click on the actual point there, that 0, see the 0 come up, and I'm going to just drag it up, and with that little yellow marker saying that it's absolutely vertical. And again it goes black, so that tells me that the actual line is defined. Go back to my line tool, I'm going to draw a line either side, and draw one more to do it that way. Okay, and then if you remember rightly, I'm going to pick up on that line, hold the shift key down, center line, and hold the shift key down, and then I'm going to call that make them symmetric. And you can see that the line there has made that symmetric. Now what I did there by mistake, I didn't mean to do that, I actually ticked it to say that I'd finished with that sketch. I haven't, so I need to go back in and re-edit. So I just hover over the sketch one, right hand click on my mouse, and see the little edit sketch icon. Click on that, and I'm now back in the sketch. Now just to show you, these are still blue, so it means they're underdefined. But if I pick up on that one, I put it away, you can see that it will always be symmetrical around that line. So I'm just going to drop it there. I'm actually going to give those two lines a dimension while I'm here. So go to Smart Dimensions, I'm going to click on there, and we know from our measurements with our verniers that distance I'm going to do at the moment at 43.5 on there. And notice they've gone black. So those are actually defined. Just press the escape key, and just to prove that, if I try and pick it up and put it, I can't put it at all. If I pick the end point, I can, because I haven't defined the full length of that yet. Right, just to secure this at the bottom, I'm going to take my line tool again, hover over there without pressing any keys. See the dotted line as I drag it away on that one. It's actually jumped to the other one, so just press escape again, just move that one out of the way slightly. Go back to my line tool, onto there, click away, and see, I know that that line is consistent with that point that we hovered over. And see it's turned black. The only reason it's turned black is because it has actually attached itself to that point there, and you can tell that by that little icon telling me that it's actually coincident. Line 4 to point 1, that's point 1, and that is line 4. So just to make up the bottom of the square, the little blue dot there, I'm just going to pull down over there, pull down there. Now I could just do this, pick up on there, and just click on there, and you notice I actually get a coincident point starting. So to just trim those off, I go to my trim entities tool, click, hold it down, just drag it through, okay, and I can do the same there. Perfect. Now I need to do one at the top. Now the distance to the top I know is 48. Now I could put a dimension on this line here, but I'm going to use the offset command just for experience. So click on the offset. Default is 10 millimeters. I'm just going to change that to 48. And I'm going to click on this line here because I want the 48 out of there. Now you notice it's done that. It's got the yellow lines. That's 48 millimeters away. I don't want that. I don't want to select change. So untick that box. And I don't want it down there. I want it up there. So I'm just going to reverse that. And then green tick. Now if you notice that little icon up there changes, and it's an offset command, so it's offset to line 4 and then it's created line 5. Now again I'm just going to cheat, I'm going to drag that up there, okay, and that one there to there, and there it actually goes to a shade of blue on my screen. It might be different on yours, and that shows that I can now extrude that out. So I'm just going to press the space bar, which gives me my cube, my view cube. So I'm just going to press in there, and there I've got my actual position. I'm actually going to pull that center line up just to tidy things up a little bit. I'm going to pull that dimension out to there. it does become quite intuitive the more you do. So with dimensions, just give that a green tick. I'm not going to come out of the sketch yet, but I'm actually going to go into features, and I'm going to go extrude boss base, and the default again is 10, but I know the thickness of my plug top is 3, so I'm going to change that to 3. Because it's highlighted, I can do that, and then give it a green tick, and I'm going to come out of the sketch and out of the features. So I've now got the start of my plug to build. And again, as I've said before, there are 101 different ways of doing this. The way I'm doing this just gives you experience of using different features at different points. So if you look at your plug, you'll realise that down the bottom is actually 40.5 because it comes in a bit with various radiuses on there. So I know that we are looking, I say, at 40.5 across the bottom and off that centre line. That's quite an odd figure. So we could actually scale that down to 40, but we'll stick it with 40.5 at the moment. So go back into sketch, because everything starts with a sketch. I will click on that surface. That's my planar surface. It's not a plane, but it's a planar surface. Press the space bar just to bring it back again. And then I'm going to go to centre line. I'm going to put another centre line because notice the previous one's disappeared. So centre there, and I'm going to go to the centre of that there. Now those little squares that pop up just tell me that that is the midpoint of that line. So no measurement required. Now I know that there is a point here to there, so let's just go back to line. Right hand click, go to select and line again. I want to do the same on that side. Okay, and also I know there's a line from there across. This will all come clear in a second. A line from there to there. Okay, now they're blue, so there's no definition, but I need to do the same again. So I'm going to put a smart dimension in to start with. I'm going to click on the line. It's important you click on the line and not the point when you're doing dimensions, but there are exceptions to the rule. Click on there, and I'm going to type in 40.5. Okay, now they're not symmetrical, so how do we make them symmetrical? So just push the escape button to get rid of the dimensions. I will click on that line there, click on the centre line, and then click on that outer line. And then go to the little icon that says make symmetrical. Now watch the lines. There we go, we're now symmetrical. And I know you'll see they're black. Now I don't have a height yet, and I know actually it's 19mm. So go to smart dimension. I'm going to click on the base of the plug there because I want to go from that point. So from there up to there. And I know, well, not far off, just 19. Okay, now notice that one's gone black and the other hasn't. Now I could put another dimension in here, but I'm not. I'm going to press the escape key, but what I'm going to do is click on that line there. I'm going to press down on the shift key, select that line as well, let go, and I'm going to put make collinear. And there you see it's dropped down and we're now black. Now not too worried that these are blue because I'm going to go to features and I'm going to go extrude cut. Now notice I've got nothing selected, but I'm going to click on thin feature. I'm going to click on that line and that line. This is not going to work for me. So I was trying to be clever actually because I don't need that line at all. So okay, made a mistake. Let's just go escape, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to back to the sketch. I'm going to trim entities. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take that one out. But what I am going to do is actually put this blue dot onto that to that baseline. So click on that line, the dots at the bottom, and I'll click on there. It's not going to let me do it. Okay, fine. Right, smart dimension. Click on there. Click on that dot. Make that 19. And you'll notice the dot at the top goes black. And I will actually then make that. Hold the shift key down and that. I'm going to make that horizontal. And you notice it's gone black. So I know those two are exactly the same height. I now go to the features menu. I go to extrude cut. Now to see what's happened there. I may have a problem here. because there's two directions, so I've made another mistake yet again. Default, if I do that, it won't go the other way. Thin features, there we go. Now that doesn't help me one bit. So again, I've tried it, it doesn't work. I shall come out of that again. So let's just go to my default experiment. Let's go for a line there, two there, down to there, and onto there. Okay, and I'll do the same on the other side. I'm not too worried that's blue at the moment because this is outside of where I want to use these cubes. And again, you could just draw this in that shape if you've got your measurements. And you'll notice these have gone blue again, so it means it's a solid and I can cut through. So I just go to features, I go to extrude cut. Okay, it's selected both of them by default. I go up to my direction 1 and I just select on here through all and give it the green tick, and I have my side bits. Okay, that was a little bit convoluted, but it just shows you that you can make a mistake and there are more ways than doing things. And again, when I do the next bit, it will become apparent. So I've got that far. I am now actually just going to put some fillets on here. Now if we notice the top fillet, I did actually have a gauge to measure this rather than just trying to do it by eye. Default's 10 and I know it's 10. So click on that edge there. Click on that edge there. And give that one the green tick. You can't do fillets of, well, you can do different sizes, but I'd like to come out and give it different so I can adjust it later on. Go to fillet again. This time I'm going to change the 10 to an 8. Okay, and just notice when I've got the 8, I'm actually using symmetric fillets because the next one will be asymmetric. So there we go. I'll go to fillet again. Okay, but this time I will change that to asymmetric. And I'm going to click on that point there, and I'm going to click on that point there, and give it a green tick. Okay, it said failed to fillet geometry. I don't know what that is. I might have to do these separate. Because I've got 10 and 8. I want to change that to an 8. Is that going to help? Yes, it does. So there's a little slip of the mouse there, so it should be 8 and 8. It's always good to try and identify your mistakes, and you will make more mistakes than you will problems. So to press the space bar, come up to that point there. Okay, it's flipped upside down, but using the center rotating mouse the button, I can bring it back to where it needs to be. So that's the basis of the shell plug. I'm not going to put any radiuses on these edges yet. I will do that later on because we've still got to put the main body of the plug in. So if I press the space bar, that comes back, and I will do that in the next section of the video.